Am I putting off working on Gimli? Yes. Yes. Hello. I thought we would try something a little bit different today. I was going to kind of go through the process of making Gimli, at least like the first layer of Gimli, and I hit a snafu. The pattern that I'm trying to work from gave me the wrong instructions. And I will be honest with you, it took me longer than I care to admit to realize that this was not the right pattern. I wasn't looking at this part, I was looking at this part and did not understand why there was a remote control holder as part of this Renaissance costume. And I did not understand, and I did not get it. And did that make me think, maybe I should look at the other side? No, it didn't. It did not make me do that. While I try and figure out the pattern side of things, and we all know I'm not going to follow a pattern, but it is nice to have this portion just so that I can make sure that I cut out all the right pieces. While I figured that out, I thought, let's just take a step away from that. Talk about a different costume. A different Joshua costume. I wanted to do something a little bit easier just so I could keep with my weekly posting, and since the Gimli costume is taking me longer than I expected, Josh suggested talking about Ackbar. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to go through the CRL and go bit by bit, and yeah, we will start with the mask and gloves. We went with Chris Stevens Creations. I reached out to him on Instagram and his username is Freemdam. I reached out to him and asked him, do you have a website? Do I order this way? I just ordered right from Instagram through him, and he said it was going to be like 6 to 12 months, I think was his wait time at that point. And I'm sure it's more than that now because everybody wants a Mon Cal. Thank you, Bryce Dallas Howard, for making everybody love the Cozy Fish people. And so here it is. Here's this beautiful mask that Chris made, and I'm probably handling this like an absolute jerk, but this is the best I can do. And I mean, honestly, the detail that he put into this, phenomenal. I will say, if you are wanting to do a Mon Cal, always turn your head, because if not, you kind of just look like this weird, nothing-eyed, demonically possessed creature, and it's creepy. Just turn, just a little turn, just does so much, doesn't it? Josh uses the nose and mouth hole to sort of see through. And I want to say he didn't really have to do anything. There might have been like a few like scragglies that he trimmed, but I don't think he really had much to do on this. As far as the hand, there were two, but I'll just show off the one. I believe it came with this foam just to make it so that it could transport nicely in the mail, because it was coming from Ireland, and we are not in Ireland, we are in the United States. And it comes pretty far up on me, so I would assume it does for Josh as well. And I think we did the same thing where we just trimmed the tiniest bit on here, but he uses the foam to kind of keep it put on his arm as well. Yeah, those are the masks. The mask and the hands. If we move on to the jumpsuit portion, I want to say it's like a nylon sort of suiting material that I used for the majority of the outside. I had this yellow fabric, and it is stretchy, and I will never do that again. So if and when we go to remake this, I will, one, pick a thicker white material, because this, while it looks very good and it is a nice suiting material, it was kind of difficult to work with because it was so thin. It wanted to just like tear apart so easily, and oh, by the way, it's see-through. Like a lot. It's a lot see-through. And so I ended up actually putting a layer of tan, and you can kind of see it up at the top too. I did this throughout the entire suit, and it's just I bet you dollars to donuts it's polyester of some sort that I had a stash of, and I ended up just doing a whole second suit so that this wouldn't be see-through, because Oprah says you wear tan under white, and I trust Oprah. She has not led me wrong yet. I did the tan underneath, and Josh can wear like bright orange shorts underneath, and you won't see them. You won't be able to tell. As far as the closures for the jumpsuit portion, I just did Velcro. I don't know why I specified, because I used Velcro on the vest too, since we're talking about the jumpsuit. I also used Simplicity 8722. I used this shape because I did not use a hood, I didn't use a collar, I didn't put any of the pockets in, I didn't use any sort of cuffs for the sleeves. I used the idea of this pattern, and it worked out really well for us. And I lengthened the arms, and I also sort of made them a little bit wider as it went down. Not a lot. I didn't make like a huge bell sleeve. I just kind of kept it gently. That seems not gentle. That seems excessive, but I kind of did it so that there'd be a little bit of a bell, just so that when we tuck it into his gloves, it blouses over nicely. And we have not had any problems doing that so far, so we'll continue to do it that way. It just seemed like the easiest solution. I know some people will put elastic in there, and we thought about that, but it seems like every time you wear it, it always fits a little bit different, and this seemed like the easiest way to just kind of go with the flow of how the costume was behaving for that day, and it's worked out so far for us. As far as the vest, we tried using like an off-white felt. I think that's what it was, and it was terrible. It did not work at all. So when we went to Joann's, we had gone to Joann's for something completely unrelated, and I will say this, Josh is an absolute wizard at finding fabric, because this is the inside of the fabric. I'm not somebody that thinks, I wonder what the other side of the fabric looks like. Josh apparently is, because the other side of this fabric is kind of a velvety material, and that's what shows on the other side. And it's kind of like a crushed velvet. And he walked up to it and was like, I wonder what the other side looks like. And he flips it over, and it's the perfect material. I have no idea what it was. It was kind of near the upholstery section, but not in the upholstery section. For the vest, the little tubing through here, I know some people will just sort of roll the fabric and then just throw this in. We tried that, and it kept flattening down, and it just didn't look right. So Josh had the idea of going and grabbing aquarium tubing. It looks like a big flexible straw, essentially. We sewed that into the middle section here, and then I want to say it's like driveway crack filler. It's like this foam, cushy material, but we ended up just grabbing some of that and putting that in the collar of the vest to keep that shape, instead of, once again, we tried rolling on that as well, and it did not look right. It just looked lumpy, and it didn't want to sew straight, and it just was a mess. So since we had already done this, it was kind of a no-brainer to just switch and try and find something that was larger, that would be cushy, that wouldn't interfere with the mask, because the mask is so expensive. We want to protect it with everything we have. When it came to the belt and the rank badge, Josh 3D printed all of that, and then we had this leather strap, so we just I went to our local Tandy's and bought some white paint, or he might have even just used white acrylic. I don't remember what we used for this, but it wasn't white, and now it is. Are you loving how informative I'm being right now? I don't know what this hand is doing. But then he also 3D printed the rank badge and then glued magnets on them, so that way they would be easy and they wouldn't affect the fabric at all. And then for the back of it, I just put in a snap, and then it's also Velcro just to make it easier to put on, because when we go to get him dressed, the way we do it is he'll put all of this on as you see it, and then we'll open up the vest portion, and he actually puts the mask on over the jumpsuit under the vest, and then we do the gloves after we do the mask. And then I'll carefully blouse the sleeves so that it's all done, and that'll be the last step that we use. Sometimes he wears a balaclava, sometimes he doesn't. It's just kind of up in the air as to what he chooses to do. As far as the boots, it's just the white TK boots, the Chelsea style ankle boots that all the stormtroopers wear. That's the costume, and I can't think of anything else to say for it, so I'll show you a picture of Josh in his costume. Maybe here, maybe it'll take over the whole screen. I don't know what editing Lindsay's gonna do. For something that he's worn several times now, I'd say we're getting the hang of it. With all of that in mind, I hope you liked this sort of video. If you did, please let me know. I would love to do more videos like this. I have plenty of costumes that I obviously did not have a YouTube for to share the process of making them. Sometimes I think it's fun just to kind of see the whole thing done, as opposed to just kind of being a part of the process when it sometimes takes a while. So here's just a costume in our costume closet, all done. We made it. Yeah. If you enjoyed this sort of video, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up, and please do not forget to subscribe. I try to upload weekly. That's it. So yeah, take it easy.